Somebody's going to tell us that.
Yeah, somebody's going to tell us we're muted because that's what just everybody has to do that. Maybe I don't want to talk to you. Have you ever thought about that at home? Well, maybe one of you. You know who you are. How you doing, Peter? How you doing? Andy Senior's on board. Greetings. He gets to watch the whole thing tonight, so I guess we have to do a decent job of it.
Oh, wow.
So you might want to. Oh, you're the IMDb page.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up, and it was giving me issues that
read these lips.
That I
no new
was
taxes.
Typing in "joy to the world" and things like that, but it didn't come up, so I had to Google it.
All the little boys now. Oh, hello, Elizabeth is on board. Hello. Of course, Elizabeth and Peter are going to be here. We're talking about Doctor Who tonight.
Look, I've Doctor Who'd it up, and I'm sorry, but the TARDIS exploded.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt today, so what can I say?
I just saw that one at Kohl's.
It was the first thing that I grabbed when I was getting ready for work this morning.
Oh.
So can't really speak much to it.
Yeah, I knew enough.
Hope you all are doing well. It is Monday. It is 8 o'clock. And if it's Monday at 8 o'clock, then it is Mighty Monkeys Nerd World Weekly. I am your host. My name is Chris. Who's with me always is the lovely, vivacious, and slightly cantankerous Tanya. It's good to see everybody right now. Let's see. Elizabeth says no spoilers, but new episodes. Very good. Okay, and I'm assuming that's Doctor Who, the series 2.
It's supposed to start the 12th.
We'll start. What are you talking about, Elizabeth? The world wants to know, or at least I am. I would like to know, and I am the world in this case. Please tell me, what are you talking about right now? So, as usual, there's nothing new to report from Flower City Comic Con at this point.
Nope.
It is kind of wild. Elizabeth, how did you manage to see those episodes if they don't come out until the 12th? I got a screener. She's cool like that. I want to be Elizabeth Rice in my next life. She's awesome. She is so cool. I love that woman. All right. Let's see. I heard they were canceling Doctor Who after this season. You heard an April Fool's joke.
Oh, especially if it was on April 1st.
Yeah, seriously. What you saw.
Trust anything.
Here's the thing. They were very dedicated to the joke, because I saw not one, not two, but 4 different posts about Doctor Who being canceled off of Disney Plus and being picked up by Amazon. They even went so far as to say Harry Styles has been cast as the first Doctor in this reboot. That was a really elaborate April Fool's prank. But Peter, no, there's been no cancellation at this time. Nothing official, at least. We would know about that. BBC would have been very clear about it. Let's see. She also got to be a part of the virtual press conference with Ncuti and Verrata. That's cool.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. People have been talking crap about Doctor Who pretty much from the beginning. People loved Chris. Then all of a sudden he regenerated into David. People talked crap about David. Then they started loving David. Then they talked crap about Matt. And then they started loving Matt. And they talked crap about Peter. And they started loving Peter. Well, then everybody talked about Jodie, and unrightfully so. She was disserviced by some crappy writing. But she was really cool. Now they're talking crap about Ncuti Gatwa, and they're saying that the numbers are down and they're going to get rid of it. The world revolves around negative press. This is why we live in the society we live in today. So you can't believe everything you read. And I wouldn't worry about it. If the show is going to go away, it'll come back again in another 19 years. It does that, right? It's what it said. BBC has even said that even if Disney pulls out of Doctor Who, they'll keep going with the show, because BBC is like, well, it's our damn show anyway. So, that's what it is. But given the Doctor Who's contract with HBO Max is up this summer, I bet they get the 2005 on series soon. So there you have it. So Disney Plus goes wandering, the thing about Doctor Who is that it's becoming basically like Star Wars, and it's impossible to please everybody. It's becoming such a global phenomenon that not everybody's always going to see the show being what they want it to be. And if they don't see it being what they want it to be, they think it's wrong. They're not understanding what Doctor Who is all about. I have been following the show since 1978, 79, sort of the neck of the woods. I get it. I was not thrilled with Colin Baker's run as the Doctor because of the writing. The more I learned about Colin Baker himself as an actor, I think he was phenomenal, but he was screwed by writing. So the same thing with Jodie. You can even say a little bit with Ncuti, but that's just Russell T Davies doing what he does. So there we have it. Now that's what I call regeneration. 19 years off and bang, it was back, right? Well, it happens. And it's been said that Disney won't make a full decision until after S2 is over. Well, see, the thing is, they got into production of S2 while S1 was running. Actually, no, it was before S1 was even running. They were already working on S2. So who knows? Disney has bigger fish to fry right now. So I'm not going to worry about that. But to full circle something we were talking about just a moment ago, we do not have any new information for the convention at Flower City Comic-Con coming at you on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of September. We are putting a call out. If you like anime, we are going to be doing an anime night on Friday. So please feel free to leave us some input on that. Aside from get more voice actors. We are working on it, man.
We're working out a lot of things.
You guys have heard us talk about voice actors in the past. We'd love to have them. They're all wonderful people. I don't think I've ever met a voice actor at FC3 that I have not liked. Like my friend Charlie Schlatter comes to mind. Charlie was just phenomenal. Love the man.
He was just in Syracuse a couple of weekends ago.
Oh, that's good to know. I wish I'd planned that out so I could have gone out to see him. But
Ann and I loved him.
So let's see where we go. Would it be okay if I shared a link to an article I wrote from the question I got to ask the Doctor Who press conference? Yeah, go right ahead, Elizabeth. No problem. Looking forward to new Doctor Who episodes. Me too, John. Me too. I'm always looking for new Doctor Who. I love new Doctor Who. Give me more. I don't care who it is. As long as it's a good actor, and Shudigawa is a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm liking him.
I really am. He's high energy.
He's very charismatic too.
He really is. He's so much fun and he's fearless. So there's a little bit of I see a little bit of Matt Smith's Doctor in Shudigawa's Doctor, that overwhelming energy, but it's channeled differently.
Yes.
Where Matt was, played goofy, but had the serious and awkward and goofy and silly. Shudi is he will walk into the room and own it within about 3 minutes. That's the kind of vibe I get from it. He's not afraid to show his emotions. He's a doctor who's not afraid to feel. To be angry, to be sad, to be upset.
Oh,
he's not
French.
bottling everything in. Yeah. Oh, pardon my French, but French. What the French is that all about? So, folks, this apparently is a cool article. So we'll just put that up there. Take a look at that. That will be in our chat bar. That's from the lovely and vivacious Elizabeth Rice. And so look into that. So today, I keep looking at the screen. The camera's up there. Hi, camera. It's nice to see you today. I am a semi-professional. I do not get paid for this job, but I've been doing it for almost, 8 years now? 8 years. 8 long, miserable, heart-wrenching years. And they won't let me stop. Every time I try to stop, they just keep what?
Do you need a therapy session?
I'm sorry to say there's not a therapist out there who can save me at this point, I don't think. So... Elizabeth even goes on to say, Shudi is quickly climbing the ranks of my favorite doctors.
Me too. Me too.
I don't think I'm there on him because Peter, Tom has always been, he's the perennial favorite for everybody. And Peter made such a huge impression of the 12th Doctor. I got to say Peter Capaldi because there's two Peters.
Not Peter Davison.
Peter Davison. Well, I love Peter Davison too, but I love Peter Davison more because I remember him as Tristan Farnon from All Creatures Great and Small. Anyway. What do I think of the new TARDIS interior, Peter?
It's very clean.
It's very large, very clean, and very empty. It's very cool. It's kind of got some flair of the old school, like the original first 2 or 3 Doctors. But it doesn't, there's something missing.
A refrigerator.
It needs a refrigerator, yeah, because he makes mention of that.
He needs a fridge.
Can you let the whiner in?
Oh.
I know.
Are you going to be a good girl? Oh.
Yeah. Brat. You furry brat. Gee, I wonder who we're talking to. She can't figure out what she's doing right now. She can't figure it out. She's torn between 2 lovers.
So for those that haven't seen it, which is not any of these guys,
right?
When Joy opens a secret doorway to the Time Hotel, she discovers danger, dinosaurs, and the Doctor. But she didn't open the door.
Is it the write-up?
It's the storyline.
Yeah, they didn't write. Then I'll tell you, anybody at the BBC, they didn't write that up either. It's probably somebody at imdb.com who has no clue what they're talking about.
Because the lizard man came and opened the door from the other one, whatever he is.
Boys and girls, friends of all ages, we are about to run into spoiler territory for the last Christmas special, Doctor Who and Joy to the World. If you have not seen Joy to the World, this is where Tanya and I typically invite you to go ahead and pause, hang out, disappear, go watch it on Disney Plus, and then come back and watch the West Coast feed. You'll miss the live conversation, but you'll get to hear our 2 cents on it.
And you need to search it as Joy to the World on Disney Plus, not Doctor Who.
If you search Doctor Who, you will get series 1 or season 1, and you will not find the Joy to the World episode contained within. So you actually have to type in Joy to the World and look for special number 5 is what Disney Plus is referring to it as. Mm-hmm. So.
Because you and I both did that. I did that yesterday. And
I did it today. I did indeed.
And you did it before I had a chance to say, yeah.
You are slow in the draw. Don't go sit there and throw me under the bus like.
No, I said you were starting before I could get this.
What? Hi. Hello, darling.
How are you?
It's so lovely to see you.
Yeah.
You know, we're stuck doing this for the next 15 years, right?
Okay.
People are going to be showing up wondering where the hell the 2 of us are for the next like freaking 20, 30 years. I'm going to be 90 and I'm going to be doing this until I'm 90. The MCU is going to make sure of it.
The MCU?
Yes.
Yeah.
Deadpool's going to pop up and go, you're going to be doing this until you're 90, right? You know. How are you, by the way?
I'm not too bad.
A little better than bruised but not broken?
Yeah.
Yeah? How's the back been?
The back's actually not too bad.
Good. No assembly required anymore?
No.
No. That's good to hear.
No.
All right. So spoilers. You ready? You've had your moment to pause and wander off. This was us vamping like motherfuckers just to get you the chance to pause the broadcast so you can go wander off to Disney Plus. If you are here now, if you're watching this now, here comes spoiler territory, kids. You ready? Buckle up. Let us begin. All right. So Elizabeth Rice goes on to say, if season 1 is a pattern, though, they'll probably add Joy to the World as episode 1 for season 2. It's feasible. It's feasible. I think that's feasible. Moving on. All right. So in the vein of a good old-fashioned Christmas episode, we see a hotel lobby with hijinks already abounding. Did I see that? Do I remember that right? I mean, we just watched it a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. I mean, people are doing like a holiday or a break in different.
Yes, in different time zones, different time periods. And then you're introduced to the concept of the time hotel, which has different windows and different packages.
Year 4202?
4202. Yes. So, and then you have a mystical briefcase that when you lose the briefcase, you die, which is weird, but there you have it. Where am I going with this? So
hijinks ensued.
Yeah.
When you first.
The doctor shows up. The TARDIS lands in the lobby. He gets out. He's wearing a bathrobe and pajamas.
Yeah, he needed milk. He
needed condensed milk for his tea.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets what's his name? Trev. And is accosted by Trev, and they have their interaction.
A guest at the hotel,
right?
But he brought his own room.
Yes, and so there's a little bit of banter there. I think I really do enjoy Shudi's banter with people. He really does talk to people instead of talk at people, like some of the previous doctors have done in the past. You know, he's kind of like he'll try to talk his way through things and make them feel like they're a part of the conversation with realizing they're really not. But it's that sharp Dr. Wit that we're used to. We loved Trev. We do. We loved Trev as well. So the doctor goes back into the TARDIS. He's got his milk. He's got his tea. He's ready to have a morning of it. But then all of a sudden he puts his jacket on, and that perplexes him. He's like, "Why am I putting my jacket on? What's going on?" Oh, now I've got the Sonic. What did I see? Something had triggered his attention. And now he's in investigator mode. So now we're off and running. The story is now starting to unfold at this point. And he goes back out. He sees the man standing there with the briefcase, handcuffed to himself. And we begin our play here. Now, do we want to do a play-by-play, or do we just want to talk about what we thought about everything in particular?
I think talk about what we found out in particular instead of like play-by-play, because let people go and see it and things like that, because this is my 3rd time watching it. I watched it when I got
it was my 2nd
when I got home from Christmas break with Tyler, and then I watched it yesterday. But yesterday it was not holding my attention whatsoever. Right. And then rewatching it, I think it helps watching it with somebody. Not necessarily watching.
So you can bounce ideas off each other?
And
or did you see that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like when we were watching Daredevil afterwards, we're like, oh, I'm like, oh, that was weird. You're like, what? And you had to
remind because I was surfing my phone at the moment.
Right. And I think that's like part of the issue with us is that we're like multitasking.
But you and I are always guilty of that, though.
Right. And that's the thing. I think I was really multitasking yesterday and really not paying attention because, as I said, the episode did not hold my attention yesterday, but held my attention more today because I was looking for different things today.
So Elizabeth really loved how many Easter eggs and references to previous episodes by Stephen Moffat there were, both in the script and in the set design. Elizabeth, feel free to share a couple of those with us. I know I picked up on a couple of things as well. Might have done articles. Your dedication to the show is formidable, and I always respect it.
Well, piece of trivia: Joy's mother is staying at the Royal Hope Hospital. That's the same hospital where the doctor met Martha Jones.
The same hospital that would travel to the moon.
The bar in the hotel is called Detambles after the main characters in The Time Traveler's Wife. Moffat wrote the script for the TV adaptation and stated that the book partly inspired the character of River Song and the relationship with the doctor. The clothing shop is named Mr. Ben's after the children's cartoon where the title character visited a costume shop and would have adventures based on whatever costume he had chosen.
There, we got a Juno cameo in.
Joy's last name is Elmondo.
Okay.
Which is Italian for to the world.
Oh, isn't that nice? I got a kick out of the fact, I don't know if it's in there or not, but I pointed out that the Doctor's companion throughout season 1, Ruby Sunday, had a fascination with Bridgerton, especially when they were in the time period that was appropriate to it. And she was like, oh, my Bridgerton. She was just Bridgerton the entire season. And then to have Joy being played by one of the stars of Bridgerton, I just thought that was a nice little tie together. I got a kick out of that. So story flow. Did you like the story flow? Did it smooth? It
eventually smoothed over. I think
it was too erratic at first. What was the problem with it?
It was like the Doctor kept jumping into the different areas, and then you go to the Time Hotel, and then later on, the reference with him jumping into the different hotel rooms comes back later because it didn't make sense to me initially.
I thought it was interesting because it was erratic, and then the middle bit where he's stuck at the hotel on Earth for the year, hanging out with his new friend Anita. I thought that was very sweet, because that's something that the Doctor has made reference to on a couple of occasions, both 10 and 11.
That
he doesn't get to do the day after day after day normally. And so the fact that he spent that entire middle bit of the episode in that hotel room on Earth, being the handyman and helping out, the woman who was the manager of the hotel, Anita, and bonding with her, being friends with her, and you see kind of how he was actually enjoying the idea. And it kind of fits at the full circleness of it, fits around to the idea that, and he said this in his first appearances, when he was talking to David Tennant's 14, he's like, we're a Time Lord, we're doing therapy out of order. He's implying that somewhere around the 14-15 breach, the 14 barrier, 14-15 barrier, he was able to have that catharsis, that letting go of all of the tension and all of the anxiety and all of the pain of being this multi-million-year-old Time Lord who has been through so much, has been through war, been through ups and downs, has lost so many people. He's kind of dealt with that. So 15 really feels like the Doctor having been freed from the burden of all of his previous anxieties and whatnot. And he had the moment to sit down and have that human experience of day to day, and connect with Anita and be her friend.
Right.
And really kind of just enjoy the idea. Because when he was done, when he finally got back into the action, he was happy to be back in the action, but he was like, oh, yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little pitch there. That was good. He spent an entire year as basically a regular human doing the normal thing and doing a normal human thing. And I thought that was really interesting. One thing that's interesting to me is that Stephen Moffat has said that he didn't read the season 1 finale before writing the episode, but did read the season 2 finale. And apparently there is a reason. Okay, well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Definitely.
She has
Ham
written
and
a
cheese
lot of
toasty and a pumpkin spice latte.
yeah, pumpkin spice latte.
Ugh.
What? It doesn't appeal to you?
Not pumpkin spice latte. No.
Come on,
Ugh.
you're the demographic for that.
I hate pumpkin spice. I hate anything pumpkin.
I'm so proud of you for saying that. I can't even tell you. I'm sure there's people out there who are disagreeing, but hey, teach their own. So it was a chaotic beginning, and then suddenly there was this kind of like flat line as he was kind of taking this different, and then the chaotic ending, because now he's jumping back into the action. It's almost kind of like a demonstration of his actual life. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Okay, let's take a look at what's like when you're not in the middle of an adventure. Okay, now chaos, chaos, chaos. We're back into the middle of it. You like that? Do you like that one?
Yeah.
You like that one? I just came up with that.
I was going to say, did you
it just dawned on me.
Sometimes your best work happens that way.
Well, once in a while, I'll see Melissa's all about the pumpkin spice. That's okay. I don't judge. I don't judge.
It's to each their own.
Right.
I don't like coffee. I don't even like pumpkin pie. Nothing pumpkin.
Yeah, I have not been a pumpkin person for a very long time. But that's, what? Off the beaten path in terms of the tangent we're going to be playing with today. We're already 21 minutes in to this particular episode. You want to wrap it up nice and tight and see what happens? Or do we want to do, the plausibility of the final sequences? Talk about your impression of what he had to go through to get to the steps there.
I'm at a loss.
Really? You do not stop commenting, and that's now we're like actually on camera.
I'm at vapor lock. Sometimes like
Elizabeth, rescue her, please. So we need John. Peter, come on, guys. Tell us what you thought about the episode. I thought it was interesting that basically, there's been a couple of episodes like Peter Capaldi's finale, where you were dealing with the Testament. And this entire time he thought he was fighting an enemy, only to find out that it was this other thing entirely, this, for lack of a better word, wholesome thing. Now, this star is about to be born, and there's a lot of drama to it, and there's a lot of potential danger to it. And yes, people were dying, but there was a real strong positivity that everything was being wrapped all together. You see all these people who had passed during the course of the episode suddenly popping up as part of the AI that was governing everything. And you're seeing this like, oh no, we're all teaming up. We're understanding how wonderful this is going to be, and we're going to take a part in things. So I thought it was interesting in so much as to
they became one with the star.
Yes. So a star was being born. That was the premise of the entire thing. I thought the temporal door problem solving was very neat. Mixed feelings on the whole Bethlehem thing and the idea that she becomes that star. Yeah, I was going to get to that. Kind of figured out the ending ahead of time based on the background of the final scenes. John, I'm with you. And it was funny to watch it a second time and to get the subtle nods at the beginning of the episode. There was a couple of little things that were like, it almost felt like it was hinting of what was going to happen at the end. So this star is born, and it was born at a particular time in Earth history that it is implied it is the Star of David that looks down at Bethlehem on the night of Jesus's birth. All right. The doctor even goes so far as to recognize where he is
and say joy to the world.
And joy to the world. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Now, the God-fearing folks, probably all about it. They probably thought that was the coolest thing. Nice little nod. It's about time. The doctor typically avoids obvious religion kind of things.
They pulled it in perfectly because it's the Christmas special.
Right. They pull it in with the Christmas special. They don't hit you over the head with it. I thought, it was subtle enough that it's not suddenly a religious episode. It's just a Doctor Who Christmas episode. He's just piecing together the time frame of the world.
Because he had to go far, far back.
Right. It seems like it's leading up to something in a future episode. Side note for Sherlock fans, the Silurian is played by the same guy as Anderson. I don't know who Anderson is.
I haven't watched Sherlock.
Oh, it's a good series. Oh, it's a very good series. That's Benedict Cumberbatch and Mark Freeman.
Okay, yes, I have seen it.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen the latest season of it.
There's a new
There's a new season.
Oh,
it came out like a year or so ago. But it's definitely a very good show. Would highly recommend. I think it ties up all very interestingly. Like I said, the chaos, flat chaos. But the flat was even interesting. It wasn't flat in like a temper.
Right. It was
just kind of like
that
calm,
the connection and going through what people go through every day.
Yeah.
Type thing. And he was trying to definitely problem solving to figure, because he knew he had to get to the next thing, and he didn't have his TARDIS to jump him ahead.
Right.
So he had to do what every other human being does, is
live day to day.
Right.
I think it was funny. At one point, Anita walks up to him, hands him a plunger, and says, "Hey, there's a blockage in room whatever." And he looks at the plunger, and he's immediately thinking Dalek. He goes, "Excuse me, is this thing armed?" So I thought makes sense now. He was so Twitter-pated because it's a Dalek bit, Yeah. Anderson's one of the officers, detectives that Sherlock didn't like or get along with. Okay, that makes sense. So there's lots there. Apparently there's a lot of setup for season 2, which is going to be starting up next week, I believe. Saturday. Nice.
Like 5 days from now.
Right. Would you recommend picking up Doctor Who to somebody who has never watched it? Okay. Where should they start now? There are 3 benchmarks now.
Oh my God.
Do they start 62 years ago with William Hartnell, Unearthly Child, Doctor Number 1, and go plotting through the history?
This generation, if they're just picking it up, I don't know. I would probably pick up at 9 or 10, because then it leads into this, but not
started new. Go back to 2005, Series 1, Christopher Eccleston.
But I don't know. But the attention span of teens and stuff in today's day and age could probably do the older episodes because they were shorter.
Yeah, but they were boring as hell.
They were cheesy. That's why
I'm a lifelong fan of the classic series.
I can't go back to the classic.
I am a lifelong fan of the classic series, but I will be one of the first to admit they're clunky. Those are clunky episodes.
So, watch the whole thing backwards.
Classic series first. See, Peter, I'm fine with that because I grew up with the classic series. I understand its flaws. I am okay with its flaws, right? I've accepted them. You watch for the characters. You watch for the stories. You don't watch for the rubbery, bug-eyed monsters and the terrible special effects. But
I think that's what I had a hard time getting past.
Yes, we have the instant gratification generation. I think 9, 11, or 15 are all great jumping on points since they've made to be soft reboots. All right, so you can either start with 9, you can start with 11, or you can start right off the scratch with 15. You don't think people will lose out, Elizabeth, if people go right into Ncuti Gatwa and start with season 1 and jump right in with Ncuti and just off and running from there without ever watching anything from before?
Well, they might.
I ask very wordy questions. I apologize to everybody for that.
This is short enough right now because it's just 1 season.
Right.
So they can decide whether they're going to commit and go back to get to see where we got to this point, or they can say, no, it's not for me.
Okay.
And they are not necessarily waiting, going, which doctor do I have to get to have it get better or whatever? So, potentially that.
Let's see. We are scheduled to talk about season 2 of Doctor Who in June 2nd of 2025.
Okay.
We will be doing a Doctor Who 2025 season review. Thank you, Andy Jr. Now, 6/9/25, we're doing Iron.
Oh, I haven't seen the new.
Here's the thing. 6/9/25 Ironheart predictions. We're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to be out of town on the 9th. So we're not doing that, but that's in June.
Sending that to me?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I can actually send that to you. Absolutely. So next week, by the way, while we're talking about on the 14th, so 1 week from tonight, Tanya and I are going to finally watch Star Trek season 30 or section 31 with Michelle Yeoh, a generally not panned but people were like, about it. We have not seen it yet. I have friends of mine who have said I have thoughts, and most of those thoughts were not happy. We're going to watch it. We're going to talk about I keep wanting to say season 31. We're going to talk about Star Trek Section 31 1 week from tonight.
And then Daredevil.
And we don't have to go through this. This is for our use, but Netflix's Dungeons and Dragons: The Forgotten Realms predictions down in August. So we really got a lot of. You guys were fantastic. You've given us a lot to work with, and I really appreciate that. It's a suggestion list.
Yeah,
it is a great suggestion list. I'm using the suggestion list, man. When somebody puts in the effort, I'm going to honor that stuff. Why does the new series keep mentioning the classic series? It's honoring its history, I'm assuming.
Potentially.
Yeah, I'd say it's honoring its history. It really did maybe it's giving people, lacing them with little Easter eggs, a little treasure trail to find their way back. Maybe the suggestion is you start as a new Who fan. You start with season 1 with Shunigawa, and then you start enticing yourself back in. Who knows? Also, holy cow, does my computer not like Facebook tonight? Why is it eating up like 90% of my CPU and keeps freezing and stuttering? Poor Elizabeth. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg needs to be taken out back and beaten. I don't know.
There's a full moon on Saturday.
There's a full moon on Saturday?
Just saying. It's leading up to spring break for the kids.
Yeah.
So there's a planet conjunction later on this month. There's
Mercury's in retrograde.
There's a lot of
Venus is doing disco. I'm doing an impression of Venus right now. Jupiter's got the big old badonky. She's tired of me already. Can you tell?
Tired.
Can you tell she's tired of me already?
Tired.
Are you and Ann ever going to start comic chicking again? Guys, check that out. I never get that right. Look, it's a link. Copy it down. Use it. It's fun link. It's a great link.
When people schedule D&D sessions and then people cancel because then they can't get whatever their schedules together. Ann and I are having a trouble time getting our schedules together. So
that's fair. Will we ever see the comic chicks ever again?
I hope so. I saw her Friday for a little bit.
So, folks, when you get a chance, that link that I showed you a few moments ago, feel free to check it out in the West Coast feed. On it is the Mighty Monkey Podcast Network, where you will find all 6 years of Monkey Business Podcast. These two of us, we hosted with our buddy Billy DeTore. But on that, you'll also find a regular podcast by the amazing and very enthusiastic about his materials, James Irish, and with him would be Chrissy Harding, and they're
Pemmy.
And Pemmy, and they're Pemmy. It is there in its entirety. Check it out. They cover a lot of great ground. They talk about animated series. They talk about a whole bunch of different things, and they're a lot of fun to catch up with. So make sure you're getting a chance to catch up with them as well. Andrew goes on to say, not on the list, but apparently Catch Up Entertainment is going to release Coyote versus Acme. Finally, somebody's going to let that movie was made years ago and then got put into the can under some corporate nonsense rules. They basically they just canned the entire movie that had been made and ready for production or ready for release, and then canned it for a tax write-off. And people are like, we want to see this movie. It's actually supposed to be pretty good. And
is it Wile E. Coyote?
Wile E. Coyote is suing Acme for all of the failed attempts to catch the Roadrunner. Elizabeth is identifying that she's on Windows 10. Holy moly. That's definitely going to be part of your problem there, sweets. Absolutely. So next week we'll be back to talk a little bit about Section 31, not Season 31. We're going to dive back into Star Trek that way. Do you have anything else? Should we hopefully maybe have some more convention information?
Oh, well, we always have convention information. Might just not be things that they want to hear at that point.
Yeah, I know that we have more of the same, but we're working on it. We're working on it because
got emails out. That's
we love you. We're working on it because we love you. All right, my friends. So, yeah, that's good. Is that good? Is there anything you wanted to add?
No.
Did we miss something? I don't feel like we missed something. We at least, what we want to do is we want to make sure that you're like, hey, I should go watch this because it was really good. It really was. It was a lot of fun. If you have not watched Doctor Who yet, in any way, shape, or form, and I'm talking to one person in particular who's watching this video right now, and you know who you are, young lady. it's time. It's time to start kind of taking into that adventure, because there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool moments. There's a lot of quotes. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of really cool things that happen. And we're here to inspire and say, hey, it's worth the ride. It's worth the ride no matter what you think is going on in front of you. This is definitely a lot of fun to be a part of. And that's why it's been one of my favorite shows for so long.
And I binged the whole first, I don't know how many Doctors in a matter of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got through what? Yeah. 9, 10.
I have almost everything up through, I think I'm halfway through Capaldi with my DVD collection now. So I need to keep working on that. I actually have something to add to my Amazon wish list.
I have to see which ones I have. I have a couple sets. So
anyway, friends, I think we've bored you guys enough. Operation Kimchi is coming along. I don't know what that is, but I'm glad to hear it. I hate the new Windows. I do not want to get it at all. I feel your pain.
I don't even know what Windows system I'm currently on.
You're on 11, like me.
Am I?
Yes, you are on 11. You're on the Matt Smith Windows.
I do not want custard and fish
fingers and custard.
Yeah, no.
There's an in joke there. All right, friends, we're going to let you go. We've babbled on enough. And so we'll be back in 1 week talking a little bit about Star Trek. And as always, we hope you have a great week. Have a safe week. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Yep, we will.
I gotta go now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.